Hey crypto YouTubers, it is coinpicker.us finally back at it. Have been absolutely slammed with a lot of ICO work, but we're going to cover what's going on in the market, and everybody knows we had a bit of a drop. We're going to go over Bitcoin and a couple of other projects, and we're going to talk about some news that may or may not have had most of the driving force behind this. So stay tuned. Welcome back. As far as Bitcoin versus the dollar is concerned, we've got an up day in store. Basically, that's what it appears to be. Obviously, we tested some resistance points, got right down around that 7,000 range and bounced up. This is not all that unexpected in the scheme of summer investing, and also we had a fairly good run up to 10,000. The important thing is we have not retested the 64.48 low, and at this point, I don't anticipate that happening. Although on a weekly basis, we could trend down around that area. On a monthly basis, let's see what we're doing on a monthly basis. On a monthly basis, actually, we're looking for a reversal here. This is reversal territory. I mean, we could continue down somewhat, but it looks more than likely like as though we'll bounce off of resistance just slightly above the 64.48, and will be in a reversal pattern to get a major run up towards the end of the year, or or before that. So everything, I would say on a daily basis, it's pretty good news. Weekly basis, a little bit downtrend. Monthly basis, we're looking for a reversal, and that reversal could take the form of a sharp move up, or we could be trending for a little while before we get the bounce move up. But we're not looking for a major downturn, blowing past the 64.48. Let's hope that's the case, because below 6,000 there is a huge air gap, and as long as we stay well above that, we have my target of the 14,000 range, 13 to 15 range, still in play for the year, or better. So let's take a look at Ethereum, because there's been a lot of news about Ethereum, and see what's going on there. And I have been trading quite a bit more. Let's see here. Yeah, Ethereum's actually looking for a reversal on today, and it almost looks like it's beginning to get it. So Ethereum is it's basically tradable today. Definitely tradable. It looks like it's got a good move ahead. So anybody who wants to enter in now on a weekly basis, it is not that positive at all. More of a trending. And in fact, these are indicating more trending, and this is not really toppy, but definitely not. You're not looking for an explosive move to the upside. On a daily basis, you are. Monthly basis, the data is really not good enough to give you a good read on that. Let's take a look at LTC, which has, well, normally I do LTC versus dollar, because LTC is often converted into dollars. Kraken. On a monthly basis, it doesn't look very positive on Kraken at all. It looks like we have a significant downside on a daily basis. However, very strong trade to the upside. Really nice movement to the upside. Um, in fact, this move at this point, okay, EFI is still not indicating that buyers are in control, but it's pretty close. We're nowhere near the end of this move. It looks like we could get a significant upside. Yeah, this is also a pretty strong trade. In fact, it looks like it's slightly stronger than Ethereum. So anybody who's interested in LTC, I think you could get a pretty nice pop. I would say it might carry you just up around that 10% move for the day. So I don't know whether or not that's enough for most of you, but that's something to consider. TRX I saw got taken to the woodshed a little while ago. Let's see how it's doing now. Yeah, on a daily basis, it is total counter trend. Bad day for for Tron. Weekly doesn't look good, and monthly, yeah, not enough data. So Tron, I would stay away from. You're going to have lots of good opportunities to buy into Tron if you're interested. And let's just check it, because Ven Chain also got taken to the woodshed here a little bit. Uh, let's see here. Data is just pretty much useless. I don't know why, but Ven's been out a little while. Let's see what it looks like on a 4-hour basis. Wow, that is toppy. Toppy with a little bit of upside, believe it or not. Still, but definitely topside. You have to be very, very tight to manage that trade. Let's see. Oh, everybody wants to know about EOS, and let's see what EOS is looking like. On a 4-hour basis, EOS looks like it's got a lot of upside. Let's check it on a daily basis. Not good on a daily basis. Not real strong on a daily basis. Now this is interesting because this is showing a downward trend, which we of course have seen, but CCI is showing that we have somewhat of an upward trend, whereas EFI is basically saying it's just going to stay around this level, more or less. So I would say based on basically because BTC has an upward trend, that's imparting somewhat of a negative bias for EOS. And I would say that we're probably it's not a great entry point, but the reason that I would say to buy EOS is because of airdrops coming. That's the reason to get into EOS. So even if it bounces around 10%, a dollar up or dollar down, $1.20 up or down, the airdrops could more than make up for it. That's the potential with EOS. Let's take a look at it on a weekly basis. Weekly basis, down, down, down. Not much of an option unless there's some major news that happens. Monthly basis, the data is just junk, and actually on a monthly basis, I mean, if I had to guess, it looks pretty strong on a monthly basis, but on a weekly basis, it does not look that great, and in fact, it looks decidedly down. Like we're probably going to see some downtrending on a daily basis. It's more or less the same, but these two indicators are suggesting that we could have just some crossways movement, which would bring this eventually back down in line, setting up a potential upside move. But as I said, the big reason for EOS right now is that you can get involved in airdrops. All right, let's take a look at some of the news. The news is um, I I am rarely supportive of what the SEC or basically any government regulatory agency does against ICOs. However, having been involved in ICOs, I run into this all the time where they being the team, claim that they have all kinds of associations with these companies, and that's just not the case. In fact, Tron was bitten by that, IOTA was bitten by that, a number of them have been. But this one, believe it's Titanium, just made claims like it works with the Federal Reserve. I mean, they went way over the top. So I think it should have been the private investors that sued once, if they did the due diligence. But in this case, it's the SEC now. Maybe they needed to bring in the SEC. But yeah, that shouldn't stand. I mean, that's just fraud. Um, this is great, great news. The more ICOs, the more attention, the more investors. That's also fantastic. That's an enormous. I mean, 14 billion is a pretty good chunk of cash. Keep in mind, even though the entire market's 300 billion, it moves at the margin. So that 14 billion, and it's not to say that they're going to invest all of it, but let's just say that's 10 billion-ish. That's a tremendous lift to the market. Um, let's see here. Oh, now this is interesting. Another major crypto business is going to Malta. So Malta is obviously going to become, and we could see it with Binance, obviously going to become the big player, along with a couple of other places. Switzerland is fairly big. Estonia has had some attraction, but Estonia has also made some bad moves, and several other places. The Bahamas are very, very active. But Malta is probably going to be the leader, primarily because Binance has gone there, but now other places because of the banking situation. So that's fantastic news. The more tie-ins we have to the existing system, the more facility we can use cryptocurrencies. Here's why. Let's say you get paid in a cryptocurrency. Okay. Well, there are ways of getting in and out of the cryptocurrency to pay your light bill, your car bill, your mortgage, for food, all of that. But if you're in Europe, it's fairly easy. If you're in the United States, you have Coinbase, Shift Card, a couple of other things, maybe Abra, some other ones, but it's fairly tricky. But what you can do is you can divide out how much you want to keep in crypto and how much you want to keep in bring into the fiat system. And that gives you a lot of options. So even if you're not a supporter of the fiat system, like I'm not, who can support a system that basically impoverishes most of humanity, you still need to use it. And that's what is now happening more and more frequently. So it's fantastic news. Okay, I owe everybody, and I'm happy to do it, a major economic update theme, and I'm going to be posting that once I get through some huge projects I'm working on. In a couple of days, probably by the Thursday, Friday, I'll get that done, and there'll be a big economic update so that any of you who follow me will have an opportunity, and you don't have to believe me, it's just my own perspective, right? Um, to set yourself up for the next year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going out a long way. Going out a long way with what I see happening. Thus far, even though there's been a lot of moves up and down in the market, and let's take a look at it today um, real quick here. Let's see what's going on. I don't think anything is playing out far different from what I anticipated. The indices are bouncing around. They're generally lower. That's no problem. It can go a little higher, but long term, stock's not the place to be in the United States. The commodity market is going through some summer doldrums, but long term, for right now, commodities are the place to be. And I'm going to get more definitive in this, and then explain how cryptos and the 10-year Treasury has bounced down significantly. It was up over 3, then bounced down to 2.8. Now it's bouncing back up. So we're going to discuss all these things so that those of you who would like to set yourself up, now is a great time because you still have a relatively high stock market and a relatively low commodity market and relative stability, even though there seems to be a lot of volatility. And the crypto space also is dialed into this. So I'm going to come out with my big economic forecast, which you take it for what it's worth. It's just my opinion on it and my perspective on what's going to happen long term and how to set yourself up for it, so that in a year, I'll continue with the day trading and the week trading and the month trading, but in a year you can take your position now and in a year really be sitting pretty. Then in a couple of years be having crushed it with some other investments, and it's that kind of a layered approach. So this is coinpicker.us. Go to if you haven't already, I would encourage you to go to coinpicker.us and just sign up for the free newsletter. That's it. I'm going to be sending out some updates on the free newsletter, and for those of you who want a little bit more detail and some indicators and things like that, I have other options for you. But the free newsletter is a great place to start, and I will talk with you soon.